Good evening, campers. It's me, Kieran. I've said before, if you really like a content creator's channel, as soon as they mention what their favourite book is, go out and read it. And that's what I have done with Carolyn H. Hamsey. I don't believe I've had a conversation with a Hamsey from the NYC. Links down below for you to check out. Please like, share, subscribe, tell her that you came from me without her sputtering out the author's name, Vandermeer. And so being her #1 supporter, yes, I will fight you all in the comments about that. And good mate, I checked out Annihilation, the first in the Southern Reach series. I feel slightly sorry for people who've seen the film and gone, well, now that I've watched it, I don't need to read the book, because they are literally two very separate beings. In Annihilation, we are going to be exploring Area X. We are going to be exploring and traversing and trying to understand Area X, a landscape that is amorphous as it comes, alongside it being a utopia. Nature thrives here. Roots have been grounded, vines intertwined, and there's flora and fauna galore. The viewpoint we are going to follow are of the biologist, of which there are 3 other people within her expedition: the psychologist, the surveyor, and the anthropologist. This cast, also known as Exhibition 12, can be surmised to 3 points. They are all female, they are all unknown, and they are all entering a place where they're probably going to get screwed in some way. All past exhibitions, bad things have happened. They have been mass suicides, some of them have been absolutely trampled with gunfire. Some expeditions leave Area X completely unaware of what they have seen, and others come back riddled with cancer. The biologist's husband was part of one of those groups, and wanting to understand what has happened is the reason why she is signed up to this exhibition. But know that we're not really given answers in Vandermeer's text. We're not really given any concrete certainty. You definitely have questions going into what on earth is even happening, and by the end of this book, you have more questions than you started with. Maybe I need to backtrack a bit. What is this book? Well, some people call it a horror, some people call it a fantasy, some people call it an action thriller, and some people call it climate fiction. It's an amalgamation of all those things tied together by one of the quickest, fast-paced plots that I've read in a while. This book has been planed down to the bone. There's nothing really I could say he could take away from this. Everything has its place and purpose. With this simplicity, you might expect clarity, but that is definitely not the case. This book, there were some senses that I just needed to read over again. Like, what was going on? Did what I think was happening? You're going to feel alienated and out of your depth. How does a tower or a tunnel have a heartbeat, and how do the walls change? How can fungus and fungi write elaborate sentences? And you're going to feel a sense of confusion and bewilderment when you read about a creature that feels almost ripped out of a David Cronenberg movie, which is a big slug creature with a living person inside of it, with tadpole satellites orbiting around the being, which induces concussion? I'm not entirely sure I've explained that correctly, but trust me, it's a bit weird. Though Area X and its inhabitants are quite bemusing and befuddling at times, the expedition themselves have traits that just add layers of what to this story. Most notable one has to be the use of hypnotism, of which the biologist is immune to. So she's seeing how one of the characters is using this to manipulate and almost position herself as one of the strongest players. Using commands, and I'm speculating this because I haven't finished the series yet, but a few of the orders are the titles of this Southern Reach trilogy. And when we find out what Annihilation means, we have a sense that there is something beyond Area X, that there's a reason to why that command exists and why it would be implemented. To talk about hypnotism, I feel as though it's on par to talk about the brightening. Now, early on within the book, the biologist has some spores that go up her nose. Understanding what we know about Area X, us as the reader know this isn't a good thing that has happened, and it causes the brightening, which is a hyper extension of the senses. Yeah, that's a thing. And when you think Vandermeer couldn't add anything else into the pot, let's make the biologist talk in the past tense, so she's reflecting on this and is fully aware that she is giving information that isn't true, that they're half-truths, or that she used to think this about the thing, but we don't know what the current thing that she thinks about the thing is. Again, there's too many questions to ask, but as soon as I finished this, I ordered the second book, because I need to know why this is all set up. I'm not saying that I thoroughly enjoyed myself with this book, or that it was excellent. In fact, I would give it a 5 out of 10. Give it a go, but the caveat is you're not going to understand anything. You're not going to come out of this book going, yeah, I know what's happening here. I'm just bemused, but I'm curious to see where this trilogy goes. I'm wondering if its whole is greater than the sum of its parts. I don't really know what to say about this book, because I'm genuinely bemused. I remember finishing it and thinking, how do I even review this? I have to give credit where credit's due. The Crowley has completely caught me out of this, and truly curiosity is killing the cat. So expect a review on authority as soon as I read it, and I will see you then.